Hello again, coming to you from my family room with my full-on, can't really tell, I guess, when I'm looking at this camera, but I have a puffy steroid face, and I'll get to that in a second. But I just want to update as to how the second infusion went. Overall, it was pretty uneventful. Everything went fine. I had no reactions while I was there. Tim and I went out and got some lunch, and then we had the meeting with my oncologist, and she did do an exam, and she was also pleasantly surprised to see that it was actually hard to find where the tumor is. So I kind of have, just muscle memory for me, obsessively touching it for weeks and weeks. But honestly, when I touch it, I can't really feel it. And she had felt like some granular, she knows what she's looking for better, but she did agree that it had definitely gone down. And she said that HER2 positive cancers do tend to just melt away like that. So that's a good thing. And she was very happy with that, obviously, as we all were. So that was that. The appointment was pretty uneventful. She was happy to see that I overall was handling the side effects during the first round pretty well. And then we went home. So I went to bed Tuesday night then, maybe around like 9:30, 10. And I'd say about midnight, and then every 2 hours after, I was waking up with the chills. I could just feel the heat radiating off my body, and I was compulsively checking my temperature because they say if you have a temperature of 100.4 or higher, you need to call your doctor immediately and possibly go to the ER because it's a sign you have an infection. So I'm checking it and checking it because this heat is just radiating off of me. Um, I had the chills. It was hard to go back to sleep because the chills were so violent, and I just had the body aches. I mean, I honest to God felt like I had the serious flu. So I wasn't registering a temperature, which still boggles my mind. By the time I finally woke up, and I think it was about 8 o'clock. My temperature was 102.5. So I called my mom, anticipating having to go to the ER. She was going to meet us there to get the kids from us. But then when I talked to my doctor, she said, hold off on the ER. She thought it was actually just an immune response to me, my body with the Herceptin, which is one of the targeted therapies I get. It's not a chemotherapy, it's one of the antibodies I get. So she asked me about a couple other symptoms I was having, which I wasn't, a rash or diarrhea or anything that would just definitely tell her that's what it was. But she had me take an extra dose of my steroid to try to bring the fever down, and then a Claritin as well. Um, and she had me call her in 4 hours. So by noon, then, right before noon, oddly enough, the fever did break to where it was like 99.9. So it wasn't in that crazy high range. But yesterday, honestly, I just slept all day. There was maybe like a 1 hour window when the kids were outside playing with the neighbors that I was out there. And when I'm around other people, it's good because it's distracting. I tend to forget how tired I feel. But then it's like as soon as we come back inside, I mean, I fell asleep on the couch for hours, and finally Tim was like, just go to bed. You're obviously tired. So that was my whole Wednesday. I kind of spent it sleeping, which, like I said before, is frustrating because other than that, the fever had broke. I didn't feel achy anymore. I didn't feel bad. I just felt so run down that I couldn't even fake it. So today I felt better. No fever, no aches. The new last, remember that, like barnacle looking is how one of my friends described it, as a barnacle sticking on you. That robot blinking thing that boosts your white blood cells. That did inject yesterday, and knock on wood, I haven't had any complications from that. They did tell me to take Claritin for that, I guess the day before and even a few days after. That would help with the histamine response, because Claritin's an antihistamine, which sometimes can cause the further bone pain or being uncomfortable in people. So thankfully I haven't experienced any of that. It's just the crazy fatigue. I already noticed some foods are just not tasting good, and I just got done telling Tim, it's like I know I'm hungry again. I know I need to eat, but when I think of eating all the things in my house, even things I don't or I normally eat, it's like I don't want any of them. And then what's odd is things I don't normally reach to eat, like bananas. I mean, I don't really just eat bananas. Right now, every time I walk by a bowl of bananas, I'm like, hey, banana looks kind of good. So I don't know what that's all about, but bananas have been the rage lately with me. So that's the latest. Also, I had my breast MRI done on Friday, and my oncologist was able to see the results. So when I spoke to her yesterday, she was like, I'm glad you called because I wanted to go over that. The breast surgeon ordered an ultrasound because where my tumor is, it's very close to my chest wall. And the breast MRI was also showing that it was kind of hazy in the imaging. So they just want to get a clearer image and see what that's all about. Also on the same breast that my tumor is in, um, there was like a lymph node behind the breast that the doctor said is probably reactive. But they just want to get a better look at that again, look at the lymph nodes in my armpit again, because that's kind of been the questionable um, imaging, I guess. Um, and then my oncologist also ordered a CAT scan, again, just to be very thorough, to get further imaging. I guess I didn't know this, but on the breast MRI, they could also get some scans of the liver. And what they saw in my liver was what they're pretty sure are cysts. So they want to get more imaging on that, again, just to know what's going on in there. And at first, when she's telling me all these things on the phone, this, and they saw this, and they want to look at this, it's like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. But right after I had that initial thought, my immediate thought after was, well, if these things turn out to be something bad, I'd be looking at doing chemo or surgery or some kind of, and that's what I'm doing. So honestly, if they're finding these things and they are things that we don't want to be seeing on the imaging, the reality is they're there, and that we're doing what we can to get rid of what we already know is there. So she didn't seem worried, and my oncologist was very honest with me, and I appreciate that. My breast surgeon is the same way, and he left me a voicemail, and he didn't seem overly concerned, So I'm just gonna roll with what the professionals know. I'm gonna roll with what I know in my gut and my logical brain that I'm doing what I can to fight what I got, and even the question marks that are maybe are in there that I don't know about right now, and that's that. So that's my update. Took a long nap again this afternoon. Tim's cutting the grass, and then we're probably just going to lay low here for the rest of the afternoon and hopefully try to shake this fatigue. I think I'm going to stop my anti-nausea meds tomorrow. I think those are just really kicking me in the butt with amplifying the fatigue. So hopefully rolling into this weekend, like the first round, I'll be feeling a little more back to my normal self. So keep praying for me, keep thinking about me, keep me in your thoughts. I know that helps tremendously. Why wouldn't it? So keep doing that, and I will keep you all posted. So until then, talk to you soon. Bye.